there, friends and students. Mrs. Dando here, your school counselor. And I'm here today, of course, again, with your Counseling in the Classroom lesson for this week. I'm so excited! Because I'm here to share with you one of my all-time favorite things to talk about. You ready to hear about it? Drum roll, please. Testing. Do you guys sense my sarcasm?
I don't get it.
Tests. Testing season. Whether we like it or not, as students, we take a lot of tests. In fact, you may even have some pretty big tests coming your way. I don't know a whole lot of adults who love taking tests. Quite frankly, I can't say that I really enjoy taking tests, but taking a test is kind of just a part of life. Something we gotta get through. But for some of us, tests can be really challenging. Not just because we have to show what we know, but also because tests can give us a lot of stress or anxiety. Anybody ever sit down to take a test and your mind totally goes blank? Yep. All that stuff you spent time studying, poof, just gone out of your head. Test anxiety is a real thing. And today we're gonna talk not only about test anxiety, but also how to prepare for a test. Like I said, taking tests is a part of life. Even us adults have to take them sometimes. It's true. Like, did you know your teachers, before they became teachers, had to take like really big tests? Because they kind of had to show that they knew how to be a teacher before they became a teacher.
Okay, that makes sense.
Just like your doctor takes gigantic tests before they become a doctor. I don't want you doing surgery on me if you don't know the stuff you're doing surgery about. We take tests to help show people that we know certain things. It's important for us to try our best on a test, but it's really hard to do our best on a test when we are so stressed. Let me start by saying this, because I think it's important to know. Before I talk to you about test anxiety and how to prepare for a test, there's one important thing for you to know. You are more than a test score. I know as kids, you have a lot of tests that you take. Some of them are really big and really long, and that score is just that, a score. It shows us a little bit about what you know. But you are not that test score. You are an amazing human being, full of all of these different talents, strengths, abilities, and you can't be measured by one score on a test. I just wanted to make that really clear to you, because sometimes test anxiety is just because we are so worried about the score we're gonna get on a test. But you're more than a score. You're worthy no matter what score you get. And I hope today I'm able to teach you a little bit about what test anxiety may feel like, what it sounds like in your head, and how you can be prepared so we don't stress about the test.
Just what I've been waiting for.
But Ms. Dando, what is test anxiety? Test anxiety is actually pretty similar to stage fright. Anybody ever get nervous when they're in front of a bunch of people? Test anxiety can kind of feel like butterflies in your stomach aches, headaches. Some people even get kind of shaky, sweaty, start breathing really quickly. Some kids even feel like they're gonna pass out. Please don't pass out on us. A lot of people with test anxiety find that their minds are filled with negative self-talk. I like to call it stinking thinking. Your brain may be filled with thoughts about failure, needing to be perfect, getting worried about the test. Most of the time, like 99% of the time, the negative thoughts that you're having aren't true. They are a part of your test anxiety. And all this test anxiety can make it really hard for our brain to focus and show what it is that we know on a test.
What should I do?
But guess what? There are super easy things that you can do. Yes, things that you can do that'll lower your stress and help you feel prepared to do your best on the test. I'm here to share them with you.
What? What is it, woman? What?
Like I said, tests don't really go away. So why not learn some things right now that you could do to show your best on a test and feel less stressed. My first test taking tip for you actually starts at home, and that's sleep. Not during the test. Don't do that. Get a good night's sleep. I know, sounds boring, but did you know that kids actually need like 8 to 10 hours of sleep a night?
I think I should get to bed.
Put the video games away. Goodbye Fortnite, goodbye Minecraft, and get yourself to sleep. And while you're putting the video games away, turn off other screens too. Did you know that the light from your screen can actually impact your brain? So not only is it important for you to get a good night's sleep before the test, it's important to get the right kind of sleep the night before the test. By turning screens off, it gives your brain a chance to reset and get yourself some good sleep. Which leads me to tip number 2, which also starts at home. Eat a good breakfast. You don't really want to be sitting in the middle of the test, listening to your stomach grumble over and over. Now, when I say get yourself a good breakfast, I don't mean eat a bag of flaming hot Cheetos and chug a giant Mountain Dew before you come to school.
And it set my mouth on fire and I had to drink a 2-liter of Mountain Dew.
Not really a great breakfast. Do your best to get yourself a breakfast full of foods that have good nutrition, that'll keep you full so you can stay focused. Also, if you don't have any of those foods at home, it's okay. Talk to a trusted grown-up at school, because more than likely, if you're taking a big test, they're gonna have something that maybe you could snack on once you get to school. And also, while we're talking about breakfast, extra credit for you if you bring in a coffee for your favorite school counselor. Okay, don't actually do that. Also, I'm not qualified to give away any extra credit, so tip number 3, make sure the morning of the test, you have a good school morning routine. I know, these sound so boring, but trust me, these simple little changes are gonna help you out. A good school morning routine might look like packing your lunch the night before, laying the clothes out that you wanna wear for school the next day, having your backpack packed up and ready to go for the morning, setting an alarm clock to make sure that you wake up on time. You really don't wanna be running into school the morning of the test, because then your body is gonna be so worked up, heart racing fast, mind spinning. That's not a way to help decrease our stress and anxiety. That's gonna add to it. By having a good school morning routine, you're gonna set yourself up for success. My next tip is focus on yourself. I don't know about you, but when I was in school, I was that kid who was constantly looking around at other kids while they took a test. I would see them turn their test in. I would see them flip to the second page before I flipped to the second page, and I would start to panic. I wasn't focused on myself. I was focused on how quickly other people were working. I like to remind kids to focus on their square. Usually, when you're taking a test, it's at your desk. Focus only on the square shape of your desk and not anywhere else around you. Don't worry about your friends who are getting done. Don't worry if you're first or last to get done. Focus on your work only. That kind of leads me to my next tip, which is no stinking thinking. Speak positively to yourself. It can be tough, especially when you're not a fan of the subject you're taking a test for. You may find yourself waking up that morning thinking, this is gonna be the worst day ever. I know I'm gonna fail.
I hate everything you just said.
These are all examples of stinking thinking. These are hurtful, harmful, negative thoughts that fill our brains and add to our stress. Instead, let's focus on positive things. You may even find it helpful to have a mantra or a positive saying that you repeat to yourself throughout the day of your test. For me, I'm gonna be reminding students, you are more than a test score. Do your best. What's a positive mantra you could say to yourself? I got this. I can do hard things. This test is only for a little while, and then my day will move on. Great time for me to show what I know. Maybe with your grown-up at home or even in your classroom, you could think of some positive test mantras that you can use for your big test days. My next tip, take breaks. Okay, not like an actual break, because some tests, you're not allowed to leave the room to take a break, but it is okay to push yourself away from the desk. Stretch. Rub your hands out. Crack your knuckles. I hate that sound. Shake out your arms and get some of that nervous energy out while you're taking your test. Even though you can't really take a break out of the classroom, you can take a little break in your brain. Picture a peaceful spot, maybe like one of your favorite family vacations you've ever taken, or a trip that you really wish your family would take. Picture it in your mind and use it as a way to relax your body, get calm, cool, and collected so that you can get back to work and do your best. My next tip, take your time. Most tests do have a time limit on them, but usually that time limit is plenty of time for you to get through the test. Remember how I said sometimes I used to look at other people's tests and then I'd rush through my own work? That was not a great way for me to manage my anxiety or show my teacher what I actually know. Take all your time, read all the directions, and use the tools available to you on the test. Sometimes you're able to highlight important parts of the reading. Sometimes you're able to underline words that you might need to remember later on in the test. Sometimes you can even cross out answers that you know are wrong. Use all of those tools available to you on your test to help you slow down, take your time, and have the best chance of getting a good, strong answer. And when you take your time, it's probably important to think of this tip: check your work. Or finish a test before, you get it back the next day, it's an F, you don't know why, you thought you did great, and it turns out there was a back page of the test you didn't even see.
Did it again, my bad.
I should have checked my work. Checking your work is a simple way to make sure you didn't miss one of the questions, but also gives you a chance to go back and see if you still think the answers you did the first time are the right answers.
What, like it's hard?
You might find that there was a question you read the wrong way the first time. Ugh, and now you know the correct answer for that question. It's okay to take your time, slow down, and check your work.
I have total confidence in you.
My last tip, try out some of those controlled breathing strategies we practiced a few weeks ago to get your heart rate back down, get your mind refocused, and relax your muscles. You might remember that we did our 5-finger breathing strategy, which is a super easy one that you could use right during the middle of a test. Hand out in front of you, trace around, breathe in and out. If you're still feeling super overwhelmed, stressed out, and worried about big tests that you may have to take soon, talk to an adult who you trust, which could be your school counselor, or your grown-up at home, your classroom teacher, a babysitter, aunt, uncle, grandma, grandpa, I don't know, whoever you live with. Sometimes it helps to just talk it out with somebody, get those feelings out of our head. Remember, you're more than a score. And with these test prep strategies, hopefully you'll feel confident and ready to show what you know. That's all the time I have for you today. Good luck, you got this. And remember, at Ridgeview, or wherever you're watching from, you belong, you matter, and you are worthy. See you around.